Emotional withdrawal is one of the most misunderstood psychological behaviors. Most people assume that when someone pulls away, becomes distant, or shuts down emotionally, it's because they don't care. But in reality, emotional withdrawal is often a survival mechanism, an internal alarm system that activates when the mind feels overwhelmed, unsafe, or deeply misunderstood. For many, withdrawing emotionally is not about avoiding connection. It's about protecting themselves from emotional overload. It's the subconscious saying, "I need space to breathe," even when the person doesn't know how to express that out loud. This behavior can come from childhood experiences, past relationships, or accumulated emotional wounds. Emotional withdrawal is not always a sign of coldness. Often, it's a sign of emotional exhaustion. People retreat inward not because they lack emotion, but because they feel too much. Psychologists explain that emotional withdrawal is closely related to overstimulation. When the brain becomes flooded with thoughts, fears, or conflicts, it tries to reduce the emotional intensity by numbing itself. This can look like quietness, disconnection, lack of expression, or a sudden desire to be alone. Inside the mind of someone withdrawing, there is a battle happening, an attempt to manage emotions that feel too big to control. It's like shutting the door to a room that has become too loud. But while the outside world sees distance, internally, the person is sorting through chaos. They are replaying conversations, worrying about consequences, questioning their self-worth, and trying to find emotional balance. Emotional withdrawal is not a disappearance, it is an internal detox. Many people withdraw emotionally because they fear conflict. They have learned it often through painful experiences that expressing their feelings leads to rejection, arguments, or misunderstanding. So instead of speaking up, they retreat. Silence feels safer than confrontation. Avoidance feels safer than vulnerability. It becomes a defensive strategy. If no emotions are expressed, no one can use them against you. This mindset can come from growing up in environments where emotions weren't validated, or from relationships where vulnerability was punished instead of supported. Over time, the brain associates emotional expression with danger. Withdrawal becomes the automatic response. Another cause of emotional withdrawal is emotional overload. Some individuals absorb the feelings of everyone around them. They are highly empathetic, deeply sensitive, and easily overwhelmed by emotional tension. When they reach their limit, they shut down. Not because they want to disappear, but because they cannot carry any more weight. Their silence is not a rejection of others. It is a desperate attempt to protect their mental stability. They need time, distance, and quiet to recharge. Emotional withdrawal is their way of stabilizing their internal world before they collapse under the pressure of everyone else's emotions. Trauma also plays a powerful role in emotional withdrawal. When someone has experienced abandonment, betrayal, abuse, or emotional neglect, the mind develops protective walls. These walls are built slowly, over years of being hurt by the people they trusted most. Withdrawal becomes a shield. The person learns to numb themselves, detach emotionally, and disappear mentally whenever they feel threatened. They become experts at pretending everything is fine, even when they feel emotionally broken inside. Trauma teaches the brain that closeness is dangerous, and withdrawal is safety. The body remembers what the mind tries to forget. In relationships, emotional withdrawal is often mistaken for a lack of love. But the truth is the opposite. People withdraw most around those they care about deeply. Because those bonds are emotionally charged, they awaken insecurities, fears, and old wounds. When a person withdraws from someone they love, it's usually because they fear disappointing them, hurting them, or being hurt by them. Their silence is not indifference, it is fear wrapped in self-protection. They are afraid of saying the wrong thing, afraid of being misunderstood, afraid of being seen too clearly. So they hide. Not because they want distance, but because they feel unworthy or overwhelmed. A common misunderstanding about emotional withdrawal is that the person wants to be left alone forever. But most of the time, they want connection, they just don't know how to maintain it when their emotions become overwhelming. They want someone who understands silence, Someone who doesn't force them to speak before they are ready. Someone who offers presence instead of pressure. Emotional withdrawal is not a cry for isolation. It is a request for gentle connection, a calm presence. A safe space where feelings can exist without judgment or urgency. Healing emotional withdrawal requires patience, both from the person experiencing it and from the people supporting them. The mind must learn that emotions are not threats. It must slowly unlearn the belief that vulnerability equals danger. This process takes time, weeks, months, sometimes years. It involves learning emotional vocabulary, understanding triggers, and practicing expression in small, safe steps. Healing does not mean eliminating withdrawal. It means reducing its intensity and understanding its origins. It means learning to communicate before shutting down, even when it feels uncomfortable. People who withdraw emotionally often carry deep self-doubt. They worry they are too much, too sensitive, or too complicated. They hesitate to express their needs because they fear being misunderstood or judged. They often overthink every word they say, replay conversations, and blame themselves for things that are not their fault. Emotional withdrawal is their survival strategy in a world that has repeatedly invalidated their feelings. They don't need pressure, they need reassurance. They don't need anger, they need understanding. They don't withdraw because they don't care. They withdraw because they care too deeply. Ultimately, emotional withdrawal is neither weakness nor failure. It is a psychological defense mechanism built through years of emotional conditioning. But once understood, it can be softened. It can be healed. When someone feels emotionally safe, seen, and supported, their walls begin to lower. They start to speak more, trust more, open more. Emotional withdrawal doesn't vanish overnight, but it becomes less necessary. And that is the beginning of emotional freedom, when a person realizes they no longer need to hide parts of themselves in order to feel safe. Understanding emotional withdrawal is not about fixing someone. It is about helping them feel safe enough to return.